As you might be aware, Ganesh, the whole data center market size right now was probably like close to value around $301 billion in 2023 USD. And it's expected to advance at, the last I checked, a compound annual growth rate of about 10.1% between 2024 to 2030. And that potentially will get us to about 622 billion or something by 2030. Crazy, like absolutely astounding. And however, we typically tend to think of power, geographical locations, maximizing capacity within a facility when it comes to data centers. In your opinion, how does water become a crucial topic to be discussed here?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for that, Meena. I think before diving into water specifically, it's useful to zoom out a little and assess the lay of the land, as it were. And so AI is everywhere. It's on everyone's mind. Everyone has an AI strategy. Every business has an AI strategy. So they're either trying to benefit from AI or survive the effects of AI. And so there's a lot of hype when it comes to AI. So the first step, I think, is really to try and evaluate if all of this hype is even justified, right? So when you run the numbers, you look at CAPEX plans from big players like Google, Microsoft, and the others. It appears that the part of AI that is real, that we should pay attention to now and into the future, is the infrastructure build that is accompanying this boom in demand for AI applications. So CAPEX on AI infrastructure that you mentioned, which is really the construction of AI specific data centers, it's expected to grow at 10 to 15 at minimum and 25 to 30% realistically all the way to 2032, right? And so the conclusion from that is that this is decidedly not hype, right? So this is billions and billions of dollars of real money being deployed into the creation of new AI capacity, right? So once we've convinced ourselves that the CAPEX on AI is real and it's growing really rapidly, you can then begin to disentangle what it means further downstream, right? And so you can think in terms of what is needed to service demand for AI applications. So you need AI data centers, right? So AI data centers are basically data centers with specialized equipment for serving only AI workloads, right? So they're centered around GPUs, for instance. So in addition to that, to power these data centers, you need enormous amounts of electricity, right? So those are the two things that typically come up when you talk about AI growth. So you talk about power and you talk about power capacity to really operate these data centers, and you talk about equipment, and that's the reason why you see NVIDIA stock blowing up and so on, right? So the thing that gets less attention comparatively is that GPUs need to be cooled, and the amount of power that GPUs use up is very high as compared to conventional compute workloads, right? And so the cooling aspect of things sort of generally does not get talked about as much as power and compute, right? And that's really where water enters into the picture. And we'll get into this in a little more detail, but structurally speaking, GPUs and GPU data centers, GPU-centered computing in general requires a lot more cooling than conventional compute. And you typically need to focus on solutions that have not been used in the past. You need liquid-based cooling solutions rather than HVAC-based cooling solutions, and that's really where water enters into the picture. And that's really what we wanted to get into when we created this report on water quality preparedness in the age of AI. So I encourage everyone who's listening to this conversation to go and download this report and look into it, because there's a lot more detail in it than we're talking about here. But that's really where water enters into the conversation.